I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes of Monday, July 20th. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of July 20th.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, department head business, highway, water, and sewer. Glenn, looks like you're first.
Glenn Cassidy, Town Road Agent. Been working last month with a couple vendors. As I mentioned the previous month, I have 3 little small paving projects. And everybody, with all my vendors right now, with my sidewalk bids that I want, people are extremely busy. My projects are small, few $1,000s here on paving little areas and stuff. I got the roadside mowing guy. He's been in for a week and a half now doing roadside mowing. Randy's had some repairs to do on one of the pickups and one of the big dump trucks. Reed's been working on my culvert inventory. We have gotten over close to 87 culverts identified and sized and categorizing them. And I've ordered delineators. I'm going to delineate them all, and then I got to create a number and a location for all these culverts. So we've been working on that. We've hauled a lot of gravel, getting ready to gravel some roads here this fall. And when Reggie was on vacation a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I went up and checked on Kevin's work, doing an excellent job up there because I was curious about the drainage. And they have engineered a real good plan on removing a lot of the groundwater into culverts and stuff under the road and disperse it. So Kevin's done a real good job at designing it, and I think it's going to work for what we need.
The project is going to not only do water and sewer, but improve the drainage
The drainage on the
on the
hill,
hill.
yes. And we talked, Kevin and I walked up there and we looked at a couple of areas that he thinks he can help me out on the corner of Cottage and First Street with a sag hole where water's been standing for years, and help me with getting rid of that water. So, basically, things that are going to go on is, so I'm waiting the Cameron seal coatings in, working on weekends, and I gave him a list of streets to do the crack sealing on, which that's been a major project. You know, after we've been rehabilitating these roads, if a crack does develop, seal it.
Right, keep the water from getting underneath the pavement.
And it's helping. It's been working, and I've been working with that company now for 13 years. And they've been doing an excellent job maintaining what I've budgeted. So I added a couple extra roads this year because the extreme cold and this dry that we had summer last year. It seems like the roads heaved a lot this past winter. We had a lot colder weather, and
I think it was a real cold winter.
it was, and things heaved up. So we developed some cracks. So, and I said, you know, do what you can with what money we got, and let me know if you're falling short. And we'll see where the money, you know, if I need extra money, we can probably get it out of the budget somewhere. But
It's prevention.
it is prevention.
It saves us money.
It does in the long run. It does, and I've noticed that on some other roads that it has. So, but like I said, when this project gets done, we'll be starting over paving. Once this is paved, hopefully the end of next summer with their final coats, but we're going to be start doing what we started 12 years ago, looks like you need, like a 3/4 inch shim coat on some of the streets again.
Right.
So constant maintenance, so,
So keep up with it, saves money in the long run.
so.
Page Hill is holding up.
It's holding up real well. Yeah, I was
Now,
surprised.
you think that's from the, whatever you put on there?
That calcium chloride, I strongly believe that helps out.
It does seem to keep the road harder.
And I spoke with David, the grader operator, and like I said, he was out in Star, up to the state forest, and when he did them this spring, he came back 2 weeks and touched them back up again because the things settled, and they've held up real good.
Yeah.
And Randy and I, we saw a few holes out here on the backside. We're just gonna put some material in the back of the 1 ton and shovel it out and fill them. So here we are into August, and it's usually end of September, October when we do our fall grading one more time. And so,
Good job on that. That road, from when I first got here a long time ago, that road is much, much better.
oh yeah,
And it doesn't pothole anywhere near as fast.
yeah. Well, it
It
was
does
great.
get a lot of traffic.
It gets a lot of traffic, and as you see the improvements that we made to that, and
Yeah.
and cut trees out and brushed it out and stuff, so it gets more sunlight. But as you can see, your area out there is getting developed more and more as the years go on.
Well, yeah, Longview and Kelly Lane are pretty well filled up now.
Especially from the Lancaster and all the homes that are getting built up on Page Hill, they're expanding out that way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So any questions?
No, just the culvert accounting that you're doing, that's for existing culvert.
That's for existing, and that's been out there for a while. We're just finally catching up on it, and that's just a requirement that Homeland Security and FEMA's requesting when we have these big washouts. And they need the data to say, hey, you've been maintaining them, and you're keeping them clean and clear, and there are a few there. I think there's a total of 5 right now that we came across that have settlement in them. All we do is take our jetter out and just rinse them out real good, and throw some bales of hay downstream to catch the silt and stuff. Because we got to do everything environmentally.
Have you been required to upgrade the size of culverts?
That will be determined. I haven't seen any need yet that we've had any issues. So
I'm just asking because I read somewhere that culverts, were spec'd out for 40 years ago. and
yeah,
they're
but
getting
I mean,
harder
like I
rates.
told you in one of those other meetings, they say, well, this was a 100-year flood, and we've already had 2 of them already,
Yeah, right.
and a 500-year one. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, if this kept raining for 2 hours today, what we were getting, we may have
That was
issues.
a downpour, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, So other than that.
All right. Wayne, anything else? Thank you very much. Reggie?
Oh, go ahead. Now, I got an update. You know how the line striping on Brown Road?
Yeah.
Those striping companies are so busy, it probably won't be touched again until fall again. And it's just that there's so much blacktop, and I actually was in an email chain with one of the commissioners in downstate, and he stated, because I'm not the only one that wants striping done, and he just stated it, we're subcontracting these contractors out so much that, coming up here for a $2,000 or $3,000 job, it's a small piece of the pie. When they get caught up, then they'll be able to free up from these things.
Right, and the equipment we have is for putting crosswalks.
And I'm going to go down to District 1's main office down here. I just have some questions on some of my other side roads that we maintain. And one of them is T2 Road up here by the big ball field. And I was looking on the town mapping, and that is all under the state's mapping. I don't even have it in my road inventory. I don't get any grant money for maintaining that road. It says it's all owned by the state. So I don't know what kind of agreement the town has with them on that road. It's like, like I questioned before out on Emerson Road, plowing that. Some of these are these old agreements. And I know the state themselves are trying to straighten up things on their end. And I said, well, there's no need to, why can't the town say, what's the reasoning behind this? If you are the property owner of this land, why are we maintaining it and doing things?
Sounds like a valid question to me.
I just, let them go in their archives and find out what,
Yeah.
it isn't gonna hurt to ask.
That is part of World War III.
Yes.
It used to go like that, and then mine went out like that on the road.
So I did a little more researching, and it's like the monuments down here, Old Main Street goes in front of Albion Lands and out around. That is still all deeded to the state. And then I was saying to myself, well, that explains when I first started working here, why the state crew would come down and rake and clean the monument lawns all off, because that is really, it says on the mapping that it's state property. So I just think the books on things on certain parcels of land is not been clarified or deeded over or what's going on, So I just valid questions that I would just want to go down and direct them and ask them about.
So in other words, you've been here, what, 20 plus years?
Yeah.
And when you got here, was the state maintaining those roads?
They weren't maintaining them. They, like I said, that lawn down there in the monument, in the springtime, they used to keep it all cleaned off. They rake all the sand and all the debris off of it.
And they don't do it anymore?
No, they hadn't done that for many years now.
Right.
So, and my other question was, we were talking about striping. The state used to come right through and do Church Street. They used to stripe this yellow line down through there. And then they, I think things have changed.
Well, when you're going down to the DOT, if you want to come with.
Yeah. So it's just questions.
Yeah, but let's go down and ask the questions.
And
Somebody retired.
That state, if that were the monuments, I could talk about that.
Wait a minute. I'm going to turn this air conditioning off. I can't hear anything. Sorry.
So you're talking about where the monuments are?
Yeah.
That's state property.
That's what it shows on the mapping.
Well, my question is, and I'm speaking for the American Legion, they're looking to put the monument. Is that gonna be a problem? Because one, if it's state property, and two, the town has said that they would provide the base for it.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be a problem?
We've gone down this road before on this monument question. And, because like I said before in one other meeting, when we were talking about the development of Church Street and around here, they said what needs to happen to growth in here is put a roundabout in, So, here they, I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but they said that'd be the most logical thing for this intersection down here. And you've seen it go across the state. That's what they're doing in New England, in a lot of these areas they're putting them in. But whether that is gonna happen in the future, I couldn't tell you.
Well, the last that I knew as a couple weeks ago, 10-year plan does not call. Doesn't even call.
Well, that's good.
But my question still is, does the state need to be involved in some kind of given permission to put one?
I imagine they've already given it because the monuments already exist. But the additional one, I can ask that question when I go down.
Already given permission. Well, should be grandfathered by now.
Make that appointment sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If you want to be with you.
So.
All right, any other questions for Glenn?
Glenn, has the mower done in the cemetery?
No, he hasn't yet. He gets my stuff done first. So,
Me said.
You're
last.
What else is new?
All right, Reggie,
I've said enough.
wise man. You might be right.
Reggie, Water and Sewer Supervisor. Grofton and Lost Nation are both
Oh,
up
I didn't even see you read that.
compared to last year at this time. Grofton's up
That's
by
who
almost
my vendors
24,000
are.
gallons a day. Lost Nation's up by about 1,100 gallons a day. Grofton, you know, we've been doing a lot of flushing on the hill.
No answer.
For bacterial testing and getting back online. So we've been
So
using a
just
lot
like
more
you.
water this summer than
Not enough
past,
money to be
even though
made
last year we had the same deal. But I think between the pool and everything else, we're using a little bit more water. We've been real busy working on lead and copper inventory still for EPA. Digging up meter pits. We still have something like 67 meter pits in town, which is nothing but a pit where your water meter is in the ground by 4 feet. Makes them very hard to work on, very hard to have any issues that the homeowner would realize that they had a problem. So I've been trying to gradually pull out a couple a year and getting them back into the trailers even, or modular homes. Because back in the day, that's what they used to do. When you didn't have a slab, you put them in the ground. But over the years, we've found that if there's an issue with that, it could go on for a while before somebody noticed it. Along with what happened to us last winter, where we had a pressure relief valve close itself up. They thought they were frozen under the trailer. It ended up being on that end. So long story short, that we've got to get these pictures anyway for EPA. I'm trying to get them out of the ground to make it easier for future maintenance. Bart's been real busy cleaning and painting all the fire hydrants, which haven't been done since my son did them a long time ago. I don't even remember what year that was. So we're getting those touched up again a bit. He's been working hard on the leach field. The leach field, as we were well aware, takes a lot of maintenance, but they're doing a phenomenal job. I think we finally have a pretty good procedure down, even with the weather. It's been a dry summer compared to the wet spring that we had. And Keith, he finished up second quarter. Water bills went out last Thursday, I'm correct? They were Friday. So that's been done. So both of my guys have been real busy. Keith's gonna start working on meter pits now, along with myself. I've got master testing starting tomorrow for both systems. As you're well aware, the state and EPA are not backing off on us at all. In fact, they're threatening us now with fines and everything else, not Grofton in particular, but operators of all water and wastewater treatment plants now are being put to the test on, they want complete accountability, and they're trying to bring back money on the books back to the state from old regulations that they said have been going by the wayside. I don't know what that means, but they're not helping the profession at all because these young kids don't want to come in at all with any responsibilities. In fact, you've got veteran operators now getting so upset they're getting done too. We've already had one done in the area close to home here, so they're really making things hard on everybody. And I just think everybody's trying to get a piece of their pie. I was notified by the chief of the fire department last Friday that they're going to be doing some hose testing that's scheduled for this coming Wednesday afternoon down at Ocean State Job Lots parking lot. Basically, that's the testing of their hoses that's required. They use very minimal amount of water, 3,000 to 5,000 gallons of water. DES called me up. We're coming up and gonna do a sanitary survey of the Grofton Water Plant on August 19th. My guys, I'm trying to get them to go to an operators field day, which is going to be down in Waterville Valley in August of the end of this month, 27th. And it's great training, hands-on training with CEUs involved. So they're not slacking on that neither. We need to get that training when we can. They're finally having something closer than below the notch. So Waterville Valley is a little closer, I'd like to think. So with all that said, we're trying to, take care of everything, but also trying to fit in what we need to get done. At this time, I'd like to turn this over to Kevin McKinnon, and he's going to give us a Hill project update.
So I'm Kevin McKinnon with Horizons Engineering. As far as the hill goes, Fisk Street, we have all the water lines in now. Those are done. Grandview, we've got all the services hooked up except for two. We'll be finishing those up tomorrow. Cove Hill, we have two more houses to hook up there. And the pipe work will be all done there. And then we'll go back on the First Street and hook the upper end of First Street. We got to hook the houses on temporary water. And then we'll start laying water mains there. Pike Street, we have the sewer main all in. We just got the water line to do there. And then we'll start grinding the streets up, grade them out, roll them, and doing out a base coat of pavement. So we'll be winding up the project this fall.
Good job. Thank you.
It's game.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I want to thank everybody in town for, people have been really great to work with. I've gotten to know a lot of people here, and very nice people. Thank you very much for your patience. And
Doctor, you got a question for him?
I was wondering how Andre made out on his fire hydrant.
That's coming up.
anything else?
Thank you. Thank you for doing a good job. All right, anything, Reggie, question?
Yep.
The car wash?
I called Shane Beatty today to follow up on that,
Yep.
and I had no answer. So I left him a message. We're just waiting on the environmental company to come up to get rid of the asbestos.
Right, because I believe the money is available in the CRF.
Correct. The meeting that we had a month ago, we decided that. Jim was here, all three of you.
Yep.
And we found out that there's plenty of money in that municipal building fund, and it's gonna be
So
plenty to cover.
it's in the works.
Oh, yes, 100%.
That's all.
He gave me the okay to tell him, so I've had this started. Like I said, it's been a month today, and I called again today to follow up on that because I was wondering where the
All right, now we've
environmental.
got to get lead and asbestos abated first, and then.
Correct. Then the destruction, the destruction will take a day.
Yeah, it's ready to fall down, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
So I'd be happy when that's down too.
Yeah. Wayne, got anything else for Ricky? All right, requested matters, Carl O'Colly.
Yes, sir. I'm Carl O'Callaghan. I'm here on behalf of the Sons of the American Legion. I organized the Father's Day Fishing Derby for them. So I'm here to ask permission and support to have a winter event here in town, either January or February, in the field across from the high school, and to have Groveton cover us under the recreational insurance policy, and to have Glenn hopefully help us out by making a snow pile with a ramp so that the kids would make sleds out of cardboard, and we would have 5 age groups and give out trophies and hot chocolate and cookies, and then hopefully have the fire department have a little bonfire afterwards so that the whole community could walk there and have a nice little event. Any questions?
No. I mean, I don't have any problems with it. As I discussed earlier, you have to have a 501c3.
Definitely. I'll get you that
If not,
paperwork.
perhaps the Granite Guild could help you out with that. Do you know Rick Archer?
With I'm sorry, the Sons already have a 501c.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that, Rick is really good at this type of stuff. He might be able to be of some help.
I'll pick his brain. Just to give you a little background, I've been doing this since 1976.
No, I'm not questioning your competence. I'm
Organizing
just saying,
events and so forth, but I'll
this
reach
type of
out
thing-
to him and get his opinion and so forth.
Oh, no, just looking, he could be of help perhaps.
Yeah,
Because he's really good
definitely.
at getting people to give him money.
Oh, and by the way, I've already raised the money for this event.
Yeah.
Have we checked on the insurance?
The
That
normal
would be-
policies, since I've been sitting up here, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but if this type of event is sponsored by a 501c3, whatever, then
It's covered.
it would be covered under the town's insurance.
That is my understanding, but I will double check and come back to the board.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, keep in touch with Michelle. We may need some paperwork saying
Definitely.
blah, 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 forms and that type of stuff. But, do you see any problem with it, Wayne?
No, I don't. Just as long as we're meeting the requirements of our insurance group, that's fine with me.
Sounds good.
Andre, do you see any problems helping out with a bonfire?
Would be more than willing to have a bonfire. We just asked that if you want to have a bonfire, typically like school has one, they get the pallets or whatever that they want to burn. They actually
That
go out and
sounds
retrieve
great.
them and then
Yeah.
we help with the burning and
Good. Because the idea is to get the fire chief on board, to get EMS on board,
Right,
and then get the police chief and to either be in attendance or offer their support in whatever way possible.
right.
And once I got your approval, that was my next thing, is to go see these gentlemen and touch base with them and ask them for their support.
Can I have a motion that we
Yeah,
agree
make
to
a
this?
motion, we approve this, based on the insurance being okay and everything that we need for information being submitted to us.
Right, and you'll provide us with a date and that type of stuff?
Yes, sir.
I second that motion. Any further discussion?
It is
Kathy.
all nonprofit, right? They're not planning on selling anything.
No, no, what we do with the fishing derby is I'm able to raise all the money for the event, and we give out free hot dogs and food. So all the food would be free. There's no money exchanging hands, and we give the kids trophies, first, second, and third place. And they can put costumes on and slide down the hill, and that should be a lot of fun.
Or they'll have a lot.
Oh, yeah, anything
I
to,
love it.
for the young people, they're the future.
And just to give you a little more background, I've been Santa Claus at every school in this town. Just have to throw
You gotta
that
grow
in.
your beard, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. All right, so
Thank
keep
you.
it,
I
keep in
will
contact with
definitely-
everybody. It's a
Yep.
ways off, but let's do it.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Carlo, one further thing.
Yes.
It's been brought to my attention that sometimes after having bonfires like this, there's a lot of nails and staples and stuff that have to be picked up out of the area where the
Afterwards.
bonfire
Sure.
is, so somebody's got to be aware of that. And you probably can't do it in the wintertime, but
And I probably will be able to generate the wood just from regular firewood. So
well,
we don't
if you
even have
can,
to.
that eliminates it.
Yeah, if we don't even have to worry about it.
thank you, Carl. Let's do it. Chuck, you're next.
I'm Chuck Dennison, Page Hill. What process is, some months ago, I started asking some questions about our ordinances and our procedures that we follow. And I reached out to Michelle and asked her to get me some information, and we'll follow up to see if procedures were properly followed. I know she's busy, I haven't heard back. You want to tell me if you found out anything?
So, in speaking with the town lawyer,
Yep.
we are going to have to review all of our ordinances, in regards to 673:1 that you brought up, as well as some of our other ordinances. I just don't have a complete list of all of the things that the lawyer has suggested that we look over at this time.
Well, the 673 is an RSA by the state, and it just requires, it says what is required for procedure, in this case, to change how we operate and how we work our permits, going from a building permit to a zoning permit. And it
Correct, and that was
quite
one of the
clearly
things.
states the process, and it includes a public hearing and a warrant article, which I'm looking back through what records I can find, and I can't see that neither one of those were done. So that's what's prompted this whole, me spending hours looking up on RSAs and ordinances. And you're right, our ordinances need a lot of work, but that's neither here nor there. I'm more concerned is how we handle our permits right now because of the liability and ramifications that we could come down the road by not following the law.
And with
Reggie
that,
brought this up.
with that RSA, again, with that RSA, the lawyer has looked over our zoning ordinances. And he has come back to us with the recommendation that we do some extensive work on them. I mean, I have a policy in front of me right now that was written in 2010, not a zoning ordinance, but something else that needs to be completely revamped. So there are a lot of ordinances, there are a lot of policies, there's a lot of procedures that need to be revamped.
But we're talking about a couple of different things here, as I understand it, right? Was the town aware that after they changed over from a permitting process to a notification that they needed to go to the town meeting with a warrant article to have the voters of the town approve it? Was the town aware that that had been done?
That was before me. It's my understanding that it was brought before the previous planning board, that information, because the previous planning board was involved with creating what we have now as a zoning permit.
All right, I was sitting on the planning board at that time, and I believe I mentioned Ken Walsh, state fire building inspector, way up in the file, contacted us and gave us a heads up because of the fact that we're putting out building permits and not doing inspections. Other towns in other parts of the state were doing the same thing, and they were getting sued by people that had work done that didn't meet code, and because they were not providing the inspections, they were being sued. So we met. I think Ken was there. I think Tammy was there. I was there. I think you were there, weren't you? And we discussed it and what to do. And Ken gave us several options. And through correspondence back and forth, we decided just to change the name on the head of the permit, because the only reason the permit was being issued was to make sure the zoning was correct, the setbacks were followed, and the permit was paid, and the assessors were notified of the change in valuation of real property, up or down. That was the reason we were doing it, and that's why our permits were so cheap. And then I think I suggested to Ken that we just change it from building to zoning, and this again over the phone. He thought it was an acceptable solution, and so we moved forward with it from there. If we violated state RSA, it was unintentional. We were just trying to fix.
That's not really the issue. The issue is whether or not we've been operating under a system that is not the way it was supposed to be handled, and that just brings another bunch of things into the thing. Nobody's suggesting that there was anything intentionally done. It's just that if it wasn't handled in an appropriate
Right, I agree. It wasn't handled properly. In hindsight, we should have done it differently.
We're gonna change it. We're gonna go back and do it different.
We're not going to a building permit because that'll open us up for even more liability.
Well, it's not up to you to say that, because the town selectmen cannot change an ordinance. It has to be done through the state.
Right, so it'll come up in March.
So what do we do between now and March?
We work on revamping all of our ordinances and making them make sense.
Well, that goes for sure, but what about this situation we find ourselves in where we're not operating in a fashion that's dictated by the state RSA?
Well, that's, I believe Mike Malowitsky is not a Cucci. Anyway, our attorney is looking into it, and we'll get legal counsel and go from there.
This isn't something that just happened. This has been ongoing now for quite a while. Back in June of last year, when the select board slapped the gavel and made a motion, and we went from planning for a permit to a zoning permit. There was no meetings, nothing put in by the public. It just happened.
So what do you think we should do?
I'm asking you. I'm not a lawyer.
I don't know. I'm a carpenter and a mechanic.
Well, then you're sitting in a position where you ought to find out. And
I'm saying I have reached out to our paid attorney to get legal representation on this, their advice. Counsel.
How long are we gonna wait on this?
No, we need to put some priority on this because we're not in the right place doing the right thing. And whatever we have to do that, that needs to be done.
All right, I'm gonna be busy this week. Why don't you reach out to Mike and, see if he can hurry it along. He has mentioned that we need to address these issues. And I don't know who is first. You go first.
Kevin?
You're closer.
Just a suggestion, but North Country Council has professionals on board to help you with exactly these kind of problems. You can ask them,
All right, you take care of that?
Yeah, we'll find out what we need to do to overcome the situation that we're in, and at our next meeting, we'll try to get some information for you so we know where we stand. But we obviously, we knew that we were operating outside what the RSA said at the last town meeting because we didn't apply for a warrant article to deal with that. So we knew we were out of doing what we should have been doing. We'll try to deal with that as expeditiously as we possibly can. Mark?
I just want to, learn the civics lesson because I like to ask the questions at these meetings. I won't take much time. So I know the town went from building permit to zoning permit. I understand that they changed the name. Does the town require building permits currently?
We can offer building permits.
So you don't need a building permit in town?
We require a zoning permit for the reasons I discussed previously.
Okay, so no building permit, but a zoning.
Right.
Okay, so when I come to the select board meetings, I hear people ask for permit to make additions to their house or all kinds of things, and it's called a zoning permit application. But I see the select board approve or disapprove that zoning board application. If that's the case, what does the zoning board of Northumberland do? We have a zoning board, correct?
The zoning board of appeals.
Okay, so they have nothing to do with zoning permits.
No, the normal situation, as I understand, is let's say we have a development coming in front of the planning board, a minor subdivision, lot line adjustment, and there are issues with the zoning for that particular application. And at that point, the zoning board of appeals, it only meets when there's an appeal. The planning board says because this area is zoned for X and you want to do Y in it, you need to get a variance from the zoning board of appeals. They meet and parties are involved, blah, blah, blah. And then a decision is made from there for a variance or whatever the proper thing is for that particular application. The zoning board does not meet at all unless there is a application or something from the planning board saying this project does not meet the zoning ordinance for its location. Would you please address this as far as yes, no, variance, whatever is necessary?
Okay, so the planning board is the trigger to go to the zoning board.
Right.
Okay, so when the select board approves a zoning permit, does the select board go and inspect the property for setbacks and make sure they follow the rules there?
The thing is, when people come in and talk to Rami or Kathy, whoever's taking the applications, they give us what they're gonna do. Hold on, let me grab one here.
No, I've seen it before and I've heard it. I guess my question is, does someone from the town, someone from the select board that approves this permit, actually go and look at the site?
No.
So they don't? Okay, so the zoning board of appeals does not apply. The zoning permit is granted by the select board, but the select board does not look at the site.
No, we do not go out and do it.
And there is no building permit in town. Okay. So if a taxpayer or a new business wanted to come in and build a new facility, or build a house, or a cell tower, just for example, Does the town require or issue a building permit for something like
If it's a change in footprint, that always requires a permit or material cost in excess of $5,000.
that? But under the current system, it would be a zoning permit. Is that correct?
Right. In other words, we're making sure the zoning, the project is zoned properly, the setbacks are met, and they've, the fee we charge basically covers the cost of the assessor going out and looking at the change in real property.
Okay, so you're not looking at the construction of the building or the actual zoning. The town doesn't go to look at it, but you're really interested in the revenue it can generate if someone builds a house or puts a building, making an addition. And I'm not judging, I'm just asking the question.
Right. In other words, let's say somebody wants to put a shed up on their property.
Yes.
Okay? And they're gonna put a concrete pad down, and the shed is going to be. So what we ask is, we pull up the map of the lot from the town records, and we have them draw it in where it's gonna be, and note the distance from the property line, you know, front, rear, and back, and, you know, that. And if it's, you know, if it's in the zoning ordinance, you know, that sheds are pretty much everywhere.
Sure.
You know, then we look at it and say, yes, I go over it, as the, whatever I'm called. And I've talked with Rami, and we go through them before the meeting, and, you know, okay, yes, it meets the setback, the zone's okay, and, you know, they've given us $100, and, you know, so then I sign it off, then it comes to the board, and then the board looks at it, and basically the same thing. That's all we're doing.
Okay, so just one last question, I promise I'll leave your own alone. So you sign off as a selectman, but not someone with credentials to look at?
No, I am not a licensed building inspector.
All right,
I'm like you, I have a lot of practice in the industry, but no certificate.
I appreciate the answer, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You have to have a license in the state of New Hampshire to inspect the building.
As far as I know, you have to be a building inspector.
That's why they
For,
changed
for
the
a
wording.
bank, but to actually go out and see if there was a violation.
I am not qualified
All
to
right,
do
but then in
electrical
that case-
inspection, plumbing inspections, or structural inspection.
And in our ordinances, it says that if we get a certificate from our contractor, was it licensed plumbers, electricians, and they get attached to our permits, which we by law are supposed to go out and see that the permit was executed per the permits, just whatever is disclosed on a permit. So if they say they're building a 3-bedroom house, they build a 2-bedroom house and 2 baths, it has to be noted on the permit. We gave them a permit for one thing. It's up to us to decide, did they do?
Well, then
what we
we're gonna
said?
have to hire a $70,000
Well,
permit.
whatever we gotta do, but right now.
No, I
we
don't
are-
wanna do that.
It doesn't matter what you want to do. What I'm getting at.
You're
is
telling
what
me
is-
I have to go out and inspect things?
No, I'm asking who does it? We are obligated by the law to do this.
Well,
And
we'll
it's
bring this
so-
up in front of the attorney, and we'll get back to you. That's all I can say, because this is clear as mud.
No, it isn't.
All right, anything else? All right, moving on. Town business. Weston and Sampson for the Herman Savage Road.
So this is before you because I reached out to FEMA to get their input on it, and they did not get back to me. So we need to move forward with this. So I am requesting a vote from you to be able to sign this contract with Weston and Sampson to get moving on our permitting and testing for the Herman Savage project. And I'm hoping that once we have this signed and agreed to, that I can start whining to FEMA.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. We don't have good enough information. We don't have competing information. We're supposed to be putting this through a bid process. I know we tried to do it with somebody else and didn't get any feedback back from them, but it's inappropriate to do this with those kind of numbers that we're talking about in the time frame. To do that right now.
We did put this out to bid. You guys agreed to go with this contractor.
Well, what we have for information, I'm not going to agree to send a letter to give them the contract to do that.
Okay.
I have a motion to table this item.
I make a motion to table this item.
I'll second it. Any further discussion?
What specifically is Herman Road Savage?
Well, Glenn can answer it better than anybody.
In 2024, during that July 5th or 6th, storm 10th, okay, the culvert was washed out, both sides of it. That's the one that we've been,
That's the one on the corner.
yeah. It's up on that project.
All right,
But
that's all I need.
we're 2 years into basically not getting anything accomplished yet. Having our engineering studies done on hydraulic flows of the brook and we're at a stalemate.
I thought we had a conversation the last time we talked about this, about someone who had given us a proposal a couple of years ago, contacting them again and see how they would fit into this program. Did we not have a conversation like that?
We did have a conversation with Mitchie Corporation in southern New Hampshire that just builds and designs. They have their engineering firms for certain aspects of the project of permitting. But I'm just going by what FEMA requested and what they told me first. And you saw what was outlined in those proposal numbers is they wanted the hydraulic study of the brook done first.
Yep.
And I spoke with
Thank you.
a current engineering firm, and this is their procedure of their checklist of how they want to go about doing this project. And
It just appears like to me we're trying to come up with $125,000 or $30,000 of cost for somebody that's not going to do anything other than do a bunch of studies. And that's a lot of money. Maybe I'm mistaken. I think we should take a good hard look at it.
Yeah.
We'll table it till our next meeting.
All right, any further? All those in favor of tabling this motion?
Aye.
Aye. Next on the agenda is Northland property evaluation.
So this is the assessor's contract. The board asked that it be extended through 2027. So it's an 18-month contract. The price has gone down to roughly just under $3,200 a month because of the scope of work that was done previously compared to what the scope of work is going to need to be done for this contract. And it has been this contract, the first contract that I came to you with July 1 to June 30th was approved by DRA. This one has also gone before DRA. DRA has approved this one. So it just needs the signatures and then it can be sent back to Monica and she will get it to DRA.
And that's going to follow through December, the end of December of 2026, is that correct?
2027.
2027.
Have a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the contract with our assessor.
I second that. Any further discussion?
I just have a question. Was that contract put out to bid and 3 bids solicited for that?
The board wanted to stay with the original assessor, so we just continued our contract. We already have one in place.
So that was a no, you didn't put it out to bid?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes for the contract. Next item is building committee. We have letters of interest for the building committee. Let's see. Currently, we have Pete Marshall, Robin Irving, Eric Brown, Sam Oakes, Mario Audit, Jeremy Braun, and I think I may be the ex officio from the select board. How do we come up with a motion to constitute this committee, Michelle?
I believe you have, is it not in the,
I don't know, hold on, maybe it's here. See. No, I think hold on, there's more here. Let's see, field coding. Nope. I've got, hang in the back here. No, this is just a list of people that are, interested in volunteering.
We need to consider having an odd number of people on the board, just so if they get into a situation where they have to vote on something that won't get.
Yes, you have to have a quorum.
If one of us is on there, that's an odd number right here. So,
Last I knew, I think there was 5.
well, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now. So one from the board makes an odd number of 7. But, we need to get moving forward on this because we need to, figure out what we can do with the money that we have coming in from the government and what we can build with that money and how much money we can possibly raise from the, residents at town meeting. We need this building critically. Both departments are limping along, have been for years, but we're asking too much for the ambulance, and we're asking our police department to be professional in a substandard facility.
So according to the feedback that I got from the lawyer, it's just a matter of the board making a motion to create a building committee. And then you can appoint the people that have submitted letters of interest.
So we-
Including a decision on which selectmen, was that already decided on?
We need to work at that, but we can create the committee and include the names of the people who have wanted to participate in that. I'll make a motion to do that. I'll make a motion that we create the building committee with the people that have applied with a letter of intent.
I second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, opposed? We've created a building committee. We need to get this going as soon as we can. I don't know the next step from there, but I think we should do something prior to the next select board meeting. All right. Opening sealed bids for granite. Granite bid. You open that one, I'll open this one. Okay. Well, we gotta read them both, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Will you read that one? I'll read this one.
This was from Dan Ayer, and he says he's willing to pay $2.50 a lineal foot to the nearest 6-inch mark on the granite. Remove all the pieces with his equipment, his truck, and his trailer. His proof of insurance will be provided as it is asked. The town staff can oversee the measurements for the final total for a payment.
The other bid is from Brad Sweet. Respectively submitted bid of $500 for the granite being offered by sale for the town. The bid is contingent upon the sale, including all granite currently offered under the invitation. Should the bid be accepted, we agree to make payment and coordinate the removal of the town within the required time frame. Glenn, do you have any idea how much granite's there?
I didn't witness these two proposals of where they walked and where they went around that property. And I showed you what was just laid out in the yard. I was told there was individuals that went all over the property where I have granite stored out in the wood line. That is not supposed to be. So
If we gotta go through this process again and identify the area where they,
that and measure, for me to measure up a linear footage that is to go, because the original one that wanted this pulled their bid.
Right.
And put the granite out where
All right,
it could display.
could
So-
you do this? Could you go out there with a spray can and mark, not in an obvious spot, mark the granite that we want to get rid of? And then we'll revisit this with the granite that is delineated by the road agent. That sound reasonable?
Yeah, like I said, if I was the one that was contacted to look at this, I would have shown them
Right,
what there was.
right.
And I did have two individuals come and look at what I had displayed there, because it was very minimal amount of granite.
Right, so
And they-
obviously, we have some people thinking there's a lot more granite available than.
No,
We
they're
don't
just,
know
they're
what
just
they think. That's-
short pieces of, that you would build a walkway with. You know, it's
Right.
not a truckload.
I make a motion, we table this until we can get the process identified better and get the people back and take another look.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor for tabling this motion? Aye. All right, opening sealed bids, 2015 Ford Explorer.
Well, there you
Here,
go.
you take these two, I'll take these two.
Well, if this goes any better. Probably can't have this in here, but anyway.
Here, you got the right tool, I'll open this one too. I mean, it's sealed with packing tape. There, I'll swap bids with you.
That's because they left it with me.
Don't tell the chief I was doing that with a deadly weapon.
Better watch yourself.
Taste him, chief, taste him.
Oh, thank you.
I messed with him enough.
Thank you, Carlo. That's very nice of you.
All right, what do you got there, Lynn?
One of them is from Michael Vian, and it's Milan, New Hampshire, and he bid $1,250. Kevin Gay bid $577.
James Layton, $800, and Bay Ridge Motors, $575. I think we should sell it for the $1,200. Can I have a motion for that, to sell
I
it
make a
to?
motion to sell that to Michael Vian for his bid of $1,250.
I second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sold for $1,250. Okay, next, Supreme Seal Coating Estimate. Hold on, there's probably in this pile of paperwork I got. Let's see, Supreme Coat, yeah, here it is, estimates. Let's see, 6F, that's it. Here's the info from Supreme. We have entered as an invoice, an estimate, or a quote. Blah, blah, blah. Supreme, just a reminder, complete your payment of invoice 26-175 for $1,788 is due on July 10th. What am I looking at here, Andre?
Well, they termed it as an invoice, it's supposed to be just an estimate. Does it have a breakdown on it?
Says view invoice, hold on, abatement, or, road, abatements, no. Take a look, Andre, that's all I got. Now, this is for the work in front of the fire station?
That's a reasonable price.
That's a reasonable price.
It is, for
Okay.
seal coating it, crack sealing it, seal coating it, and striping it after.
So it's gonna be, sealed and then,
It's just gonna be crack sealed.
right,
The only part is the parking spots that are the north side, like between the apron and Spring Street, the cracks are a little too far gone to crack seal.
right,
So these are seal the apron right in front of the seal coat the entire apron and parking spot. Lines for the firehouse. And then put area like kind of chevronish looking stuff where you're not supposed to.
Mhm.
Use glass beads so it's reflective, and then he said you'd also put lines inside the firehouse. You wouldn't charge for that.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Alright,
What was the amount?
$1,788.
Figure that out?
And I tried to put on the thing, get the actual invoice, and it's no longer.
Yeah, okay, well, I think it's, Glenn thinks it's reasonable, sounds reasonable to me for all that stuff. Second the motion, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion passes. So, will you contact them, or you wanna have Michelle, how do you wanna do this? All right, well then, tell them the board voted yes, and, send us the right paperwork and get the work done and get paid. All right, next up is application permits and warrants. Let's see, abatements. This is, lot number 211-0080-00-00. And it's for an abatement for, I can say your name, right?
Yeah,
For-
I guess I'm unsure why it's back on the agenda because it was approved last meeting.
Well, it has not been signed, maybe that's why it's on the, yeah, I remember that from last meeting. I don't know, well, let's do it again. This is for,
I'll make a motion to approve the abatement for Ball Road.
right, I second that motion. Any further discussion?
What's the amount of the abatement?
Hold on.
I don't think it was on there. It was pending the amount of solar panels, and she had 36 solar panels down, and I only
Right,
had
yeah, I remember
24.
that, they had 24.
And she told us in the office that it was not based on the amount of panels. It was based on the final evaluation.
Based on the above information, I'm recommending the board approve this abatement application for the reduced assessed value from $67,750 to $29,750 for the 2025 tax year. Calculation of 36,000 assessed value versus final tax rate, $983.80 times statutory interest. What the hell am I reading?
I paid my tax bill,
Yeah,
so you have to give me amount of interest that my money has sat with the town until the abatement was finalized.
There you go.
okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion?
When you guys were discussing that at the last meeting, there was a discrepancy in the solar panels. Did we ever get anybody out there to actually count the solar panels on that
Yes.
property?
Yes,
They did?
they did go out,
And did they get the count right this time?
yes.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next. Lot number 236-005-MH-32. This memorial will recommend that you approve an abatement at blah, 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 owned by Emily Watson for the 2025 tax year. The subject property is a cabin-like structure on land owned by another. There's a deck and slab on the lot as well. Our office has visited the property on September of 2025 and picked the new cabin, deck, and slab. Since the new items were placed after 4/1/2025, there should be zero tax bill for the 2025. The taxpayer will pay for the 2026 tax year based on revised assessment of $21,040. Based on the information, I recommend the board approve this abatement application and reduce the assessed value from $58,000 to $0 for the 2025 tax year. This will be an administrative abatement as the taxpayer did not pay the final 2025 tax bill of $1,585.
So how do we stand with this? Can you explain to me what's going on?
It was a mini shed type thing that was brought into the trailer park to be used as a mobile home. It was brought in, landed, and never, occupied, never finished, never, whatever. So she filed for an abatement.
Are you sure it was never occupied?
Correct.
I went by and talked to her while she was there,
Well, she might have been there.
but sure looked like it was occupied to me. I mean, I didn't go into the building, but I.
She lives in Newport.
All right, so what do we do?
But the whole problem was it landed after a certain date, so it should not have been taxed. Because it's being taxed as a mobile home. Mobile homes have specific timeframes.
Make a motion that we rebate this amount to this
Right.
person for whatever reason.
But it's administrative because she's never paid the bill.
Right. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Solar exemption, lot number 211-008-00-00. This is for a solar exemption.
And again, that was mine, and that was addressed last meeting. So I'm not sure, again, why that's on there.
Well, this form isn't signed, so maybe we didn't sign it. I don't know. Anyway, I have a motion to.
Yeah, we'll deal with it as it's suggested. Make a motion to that.
All right, I make a motion to sign the solar abatement. Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's see. Okay, sign now. Next item on the agenda is zoning application, map and lot. Let's see, this is for Suzanne Dietz, 71 Graham Street. Electric vehicle chargers being installed on right of my driveway. It's going to be attached to a pedestal, blah, blah, blah. And they have a electrician doing it. Fee's been paid. Reggie signed it. I've signed it. Can I have a motion to approve?
Yeah, make a motion to approve the solar charging station.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion?
Did you give a number of that?
Huh?
Did you give her the number of that? We got two.
No, I didn't. Thank you. I'm a new kid up here, you know?
No.
I have a copy of it right here.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the 101, 024 dash 2222.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, the next one is number 214-027-00-00. It's for Michael and Rami McCann. They're changing their roof from asphalt to standing seam metal. Fee's been paid and I've signed it. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve their.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, any public comment? Norm, I got your minutes up here. All right, here.
Mark?
I have a question. I think back in March, We had a town budget meeting here in the office, am I correct? Was it in March?
You talking to me?
Anyone? Yes.
Mark?
Yeah, budget hearing.
Yes.
Budget workshops?
Well, during that meeting,
In February.
we were talking about items that came in over budget and increases. And one of the largest increases I remember was employee health insurance. And I believe that number was approximately $80,000 more.
37% increase.
Yes. My question is, I asked at the time if that had gone out to bid, and the response was that the previous town administrator failed to do so. My question now, since we're almost halfway through the year, is has next year's employee health plan cost gone out to bid? Has the census been done and several brokers been asked for bids on that?
We are working with the school because we are of the same pool. So we are working with the school not only for looking into health insurance, but also looking into our fuel bids.
So you don't do a bid for the town employees, you use the school board's rates?
We are part of, so our insurance is part of the school's insurance. We're one big pool with the school. We go through school care.
Okay.
And because we have a much larger pool, if we go with the school, with the SAU, it gives us better rates.
You have a larger pool, but your census and usage ratio is different than the school. And as importantly, last time when I asked this question, you said that it had not gone up to bid because someone didn't do it. So my question again, and just a yes or no, has the bid for health insurance gone out to bid?
We are working with the school. At this time, I do not have any bids.
You do not?
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Well, residents of Old Village Road are curious on the health junkyard that's happening. Curious on the status of the situation and how that's being handled.
This is. I'm
Is that what we're talking about tonight?
We got that up on.
Yeah, we'll be discussing it in non-public in a few minutes. As far as exactly what's going on, I hope to know more in a little bit. But
I encourage everybody to take a ride home that way.
all right, I'll do that.
I got one on my road too.
Old Village Road.
Yeah.
All this if you ride down North.
Yeah.
Southern side.
South end.
You can see it from Route 3.
Sir, this is down at the end, bottom end of Old Village?
Yeah.
All right, I'll swing by there the next day or so and take a look.
Well, as a neighbor,
Yeah, I think it's been an ongoing issue, but we'll look into it. Fortunately, now we have Mario Audit as the health officer and what we need. So hopefully we'll try to get something done. Yes, ma'am.
This was, I think, discussed at a previous selectmen's meeting about going to the state regarding that, and wasn't it mentioned that this fellow got that, it was decided that was lawn art?
This town actually took him to court
Yeah.
and lost.
And lost, and
And it was told to be lawn art.
When was that done, Kathy? Do you remember?
I do not, it was before I took office, but I do remember.
Jim Tierney was on the board.
Jim mentioned that.
I do remember hearing it. Yep.
Yeah,
very,
lawn art.
there setback rules that, I mean, the stuff is in the road.
I'll take a ride by there and take a look at it, take some pictures, and see what we can do. Anybody else, Pete?
I know just what he's talking about. I check that out every day. I go to Guildhall to the post office. Guildhall is beautiful.
Yep.
You come back across the bridge, and the Berlin landfill looks better than the southern end of it.
It's
And
true.
I will
It
tell
does.
you, the best of my knowledge, the right of way right through there is 35 feet from the center line over. And like he said, he's got junk sitting right, well, this morning, right on the edge of the blacktop.
All right, I'll check it out and, but, you know, I'll see what we can do.
And that is also a state railroad right of way through the driveway.
Yeah, 'cause the railroad's down there.
That's
too.
right, and it's an access for the railroad to the driveway as far as I can see.
All right, well, let's see what we can do, because it's been an ongoing issue I'm aware of. I've heard it numerous times. With Mario here, perhaps we can do something. Come back on the 17th and we'll see if we can give you some information about that. Thank you. Any further? Chief,
Am I allowed to speak when it's not my night? I'm not a resident.
you're allowed to speak.
All right. So Mario, great guy, been working alongside of him. He is not our silver bullet, all right? What that means is the select board also needs to be on board with whatever we're moving forward with. It's like me, he needs you guys to have his back in these situations. Like with my job, there's 7 different ways to skin a cat, all right? So just because out of threat of potentially losing, that shouldn't hinder us from doing our jobs. Because if that was what we did, there'd be no need for a police department because they'd get sued and close the doors, all right? So I just wanted to say, Mario is great, but it's very important that our board stands behind us with these items. So we can navigate them. Property values are dropping in certain areas in town because of these obvious issues. We should just look into how we're going to deal with them. Move forward. That's all.
Is that mean mine's gonna drop?
Already his.
Another one? I have 5 parcels.
Yeah, I agree that, you know, the board needs to be able to back these people up and provide them with, you know, Mario is an expert on a lot of this stuff, but this board needs to back him. You know, I lean on Mario because he knows more about it than I do. So I think, and I believe all 3 of us want to be as helpful as possible. So let's see what we can do for you. Chuck?
This kind of brings us back to our ordinances. We have ordinances and they need to somehow figure out how to enforce them. We have little blurbs in our thing that says, if you do not adhere to an ordinance, we can charge people $100 a day. Well, when was the last time we fined anybody and got any money?
Yeah, well, we have to work on it. I agree. And, you know, we're burning money right now to try to find out how to do it. We may have to bring in a contractor to help us with this. I honestly don't know. We know it's a problem. We try working on it. That's all I can do.
I can say something to that.
Yes?
Rami was given that just prior to Tammy resigning. And then we lost everything. Rami had to go across the hall. I worked alone for 5 months.
Right.
Things like that got put on the back burner. It's not easy to say that. It didn't fall through the cracks. It just got put aside because we were not
didn't have
fully
anybody in the
staffed.
office. Yeah, I know. I went through that. So yeah, you know, yes, we're doing what we can, and we will do our best to correct the issue. You brought it to our attention, and we're going to work on fixing it. It's not going to be done overnight, and we don't know exactly what we're going to do. I'll keep you posted.
On Wednesday, just for you folks' information, on Wednesday, the planning board is meeting, and our plan is to take up the issue of the town zoning ordinances and try to update them. That's not something that's going to be done quickly, but there's going to be a concerted effort by everybody on the board to try to make that happen. So that's where we're headed on Wednesday, and it's going to be there's a lot to take in because, like Michelle said, you know, there's been more than one person that's told us that we're kind of out of whack with what we're doing and out of date and everything else. Just for your information.
Right, and just coming up Wednesday, planning board, 6 o'clock here, right?
6 o'clock here, yep.
So, you're open to the public, show up. Anything else from the public? Yes,
This question's for Michelle. How has it been going looking for new grants to do some repairs to the covered bridge? Look into that, have you found anything new?
So I have been looking, the biggest thing that I have been concentrating on is trying to find out the last time that it was painted. That information was provided to me thanks to Rob, and it was 1997 was the last time it was painted. So with that information now, I can start looking into more, because without something like that, I don't have, if somebody's like, well, when was the last time this was done? I didn't know until just, I think he dropped it off this week. But we've been looking at grants here, there, and everywhere. I just haven't found anything specifically for the bridge yet.
So was that done with asbestos? No, so what's the big deal?
1997 would not have been lead paint.
So
No.
lead paint, that's what I meant.
Correct.
So what's the big deal with going forward if we don't have a lead paint issue?
We don't know that there wasn't lead paint underneath that. Was there lead paint testing done at that time? There's a lot of things. I've reached out to FEMA, asking for assistance from FEMA to find people that can come up and do the testing.
Well, who did the work? Can't you find out from?
If I remember correctly, it was volunteers because they were using some of the hours for the share. You remember the share program where you did 2 hours? Well, they had a food thing. You did 2 hours community
Yes, I remember
service.
that program.
And I believe they at least partly done by them. Because there was a big deal
That-
talking back then.
Yeah, that
Getting
was
it painted.
That was not the name of the company. It was Mark. Yep, Mark something in his crew.
Originally repaired the bridge, and I'm guessing that Milton Drayton was the one that painted it the first time around after he repaired it. I haven't been able to find it, now I'm putting it together, two and two together.
So we'll continue to work on this. I don't know if you were here. We did do just the home test kit, and 2 of them came back positive for lead, but I don't know if it's because we were testing paint that was on metal pieces that were part of the bridge and not just paint that we were able to take paint flecks or paint chips off the wood from. So work in progress. As soon as I have something for you though, Mr. Brown, I'll let you know. You're welcome.
Chris?
When was lead paint stopped?
That I do not know.
I'm thinking like in the early 70s. Chuck, you remember that?
It was early 70s.
Prior
But 73 sticks in my head.
Well, the reason I
74?
72, 74.
Yeah, so
Bigger
early.
mistakes too.
Yeah.
The reason I asked.
But that's, that's a pretty old bridge. All right, any other questions?
Hold on, Chris is still talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The reason I asked is because Nash Street Dam went out in May of 67.
No, 69. 69. 69.
69.
69. A lot of the boards on the down riverside of the bridge were knocked off. So, were they still paying for that?
My opinion is we need a professional licensed lead contractor to come up there and, do a professional test of all the areas that would need to be touched, and then we know what to do.
There are testing places that you chip it off, put it in an envelope, send it to them, they'll test it, and it's authorized. It's acknowledged that it's a good test. You don't, other than chipping it off, on the rubber gloves.
Well, again, this is something we can't do wrong. So we'll research it, see what we gotta do. I agree something needs to be done on it, and, time has been needed for years. Let's see what we can do.
Good weather.
Hold on, let me get Robin, okay, Pete? Let me get Robin first. Hi, Robin.
Hi, so keep in mind that grant money was used to replace the gables. So if those ends are going to be tested, they're going to test negative.
Right.
It was that contractor who did exactly what Chuck was saying, was sent out samples to have the lead testing on the rest of the boards, and it came out positive. So we talked to Dana Southworth.
Yeah, because they did the gable ends, they replaced that,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Pete?
I don't know if you find out anything, but the town of Jackson recently did their cover grades. So maybe they could give pointers if we wanted to contact.
Yeah, Michelle, if you give me a phone number, I'll call
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marshall.
them. Thank you, Pete. Anything else? Looks like we're at that point. Announcements, again, planning board on Wednesday of this week here. The next select board meeting will be the 17th, same place, same time. And then we're gonna go into non-public. I have a motion to go into non-public. I'll second that motion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. Wayne?